Here are 5 ways that you may be making your child depressed and anxious. Number 1, a lack of connection. As a parent, you're thinking, well, I'm doing all the things. I'm doing their laundry, I'm making their food, I buy them clothes, I send them off to school, and why are they depressed? Quite a few years ago, there was an incident in which lots of little children were getting all the things they needed, all the food and all the clothing and warmth that they needed, and all the children were looking to the wall and dropping down dead. And they found that the reason for this is that they were not getting love, that humans need love. So the first thing is try and connect with your children. Hug them every single day. Tell them that you love them. And then try to spend time with them. Do something with them that's important to them. And build them up while you're doing it. Look in their eyes. Ask how they're doing. Spend this time every single day. The way that children spell love is T-I-M-E. Number 2 way that you may be making your child depressed. You become the critical voice in their head that's always putting them down. As parents, we want our kids to make good decisions. And so we try to guide them and instruct them. And when they do something wrong, we try to tell them it's wrong and we try to get them to do something that's right. Now, obviously, abusing your child is going to do this, but sometimes well-intentioned parents who are trying to get their kids to make good decisions end up criticizing their children excessively. And it's not followed up by positive, loving feedback and building them up. It's just the criticism all the time about everything. You're not a good kid, you're not responsible, you don't do things right, you're always making messes, you're always causing problems, you're always making me stressed out, you're so loud, you're so noisy, you're so messy. And so the child's identity becomes all of these horrible things. It's very difficult to not be depressed when your identity by your parents is that you're basically a complete failure at life. Be very careful that you are being the positive voice in their heads, not the critical one. As a parent, you're going to occasionally need to do some correction, but do it very carefully with lots of love and lots of building up afterwards and beforehand. Number 3, you are treating your child as if they are crippled when they are not. You do everything for your kid. You do all of the things for them. You wake them up. You make them breakfast. You do their laundry. You do the chores. You take them everywhere. You do everything for them all the time. And when they're old enough to do things for themselves, you still do all the things for them because it's easier. So the kid doesn't know how to cook, they don't know how to clean, they don't help around the house, they don't do anything at all except for, whatever the heck they want to do. And they don't ever get any sort of feeling of contribution and competence. As parents, we need to try and hold our children as able to care for themselves. This is a very delicate balance, and you need to make sure this does not come in the form of neglect or abuse at all, but you need to try and teach them how to do things to take care of themselves. Age-appropriate things only, without stressing the heck out of them. Teach them how to use an alarm clock. Teach them to get up on time. Teach them how to keep their room clean. Teach them how to do their chores. Hold them accountable for these things. And to add on to this, I would try to give them some sort of outlet where they can do something that they get good at, besides video games. Some kind of sport, some kind of musical instrument, something that they can do where they feel like they're good at something. And this can help kids' self-worth quite a bit at a young age when they're always comparing themselves to everyone else. The number 3 way that parents are making their kids depressed is they are allowing them to have unlimited, total, constant access to social media and screens as much as they want, as long as they want, without any sort of regulation of any kind. Sort of like putting unlimited amounts of candy on the dinner table all the time. So the kids wake up in the morning, what do? Well, they're going to go eat the candy. They're kids. They don't have good self-control. So they eat, handfuls of Skittles for breakfast and soda pop. And then for lunch, what do they have? Starburst and Twix. And for dinner, what do they have? They have Reese's Pieces. And kids need some help and some guidance and some regulation. You have them eat a healthy meal first, and maybe afterwards they can have some dessert. It's the same way with screens. Screens right now, social media, is designed to be the most addictive machines on the face of the earth. And there's never been another generation that's faced screens. This is the first generations coming out right now. And we're not really prepared for this because we didn't have this when we were kids. And so these children are basically faced with the most addictive machine ever. And they're just sort of expected to regulate it themselves. So unlimited screen time. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Well, studies are coming in showing that this is making kids depressed and anxious, and you really should not be allowing your child to have a cell phone with unlimited internet access to all social media until at least 16, and maybe more like 18 would be a better idea. However, having a phone is a very useful thing. Well, you may not know this, but there are phones that you can get for your children that text, and they can call, and you can record videos, and you can have books on them, and you can have MapQuest on them, or maps or whatever on them, and still have all these useful tools without having unlimited access to social media and the internet. Gab is one of the companies. There's lots of companies out there. Just go check it out. And this is one of the big things that's happening with this upcoming generation. It's a epidemic of a pandemic in third world countries of kids that are depressed, and this is what they're linking to it. And the last thing, number 5, the reason why your kid may be depressed is because of a lack of exercise. And this really correlates a lot with number 4. Kid's going to run outside and play, or is he going to sit on screens all day? Well, which one's more rewarding? Is he going to eat broccoli, or is he going to eat candy? Well, if he has the option, he's going to end up going for the candy. Guess what? He's a kid. And so if your child has the option of sitting on the screens all day or going outside and playing and getting some exercise, he's going to do the thing that's more interesting, the thing that's more fun. He's going to sit on the screens. But if you start regulating the screen time a little bit and you encourage some outside play and some exercise, you can help your child. You can also help sign them up for a sport. You can also go play catch with them or frisbee with them or soccer or whatever. Try to see if you can get your kids to get some exercise. You can go on family bike rides. And they're probably not going to want to do any of these things if they have unlimited access to screens. But you could lay down some rules and say, tell you what, after we go on a family bike ride, then you can spend some time on screens. These sorts of things is what parents can do to help their children to be less likely to be depressed. Do all these things guarantee that your child will not be depressed? Of course not. Depression is very complicated, and there are going to be lots of factors involved, autoimmune disorders and genetic disorders and chemical imbalances and all kinds of things. Could be trauma. But attending these 5 things certainly can help. Good luck.